Welcome in, welcome in. Welcome in, welcome in. How we doing? How we feeling? Here we go. Welcome in, welcome in. How we doing? How we feeling? How we doing? How we feeling? How we doing? How we feeling? Hopefully we're all doing well. Had a good Memorial Day? That's what's up. When was that? I don't even know what Memorial Day was. I damn. I have not been paying attention to anything at all. Well, spoke too early. That's fair. I woke up at like 4 a.m. I had to do a 7-minute meditation, and I struggled with that. It was not okay. Come in, welcome in. How we doing? How we feeling? Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really like pay attention to stuff like that. So whenever people say it, I'm always like, what was that? Let's see. It's at the beginning. Welcome in, welcome in. I'm doing well. I'm just, relaxing. I woke up early. I did the meditation. So I felt good enough to just pop up. So here I am. But yeah, I'm doing well. But yeah, how y'all doing? Oh wow, the deck was like stuck to it. Well, yeah, they do have like a little bit of magnetic pull. Sorry, I'm playing with magnets. I should not be playing with magnets, but I'm playing with magnets. This is the pocket animal deck, and the tarot shadows are magnetic with each other. I was just playing with it. I got sucked into it. My bad. Dude, it's just one of those days. I put the deck on top. I didn't think that it would have like a magnetic pull, and I was like, yeah, it does. And I was just sitting there fucking playing with it, like, I don't know. It'd be like that. Polarization topics today? Uh, Maybe. It depends on if people are gonna ask questions about it. I don't really know what you all need. Uh, you know, teaching wise, so I can't really teach things because I can't like just gauge that. People like assume that you can, you really can't. So it's more of just like asking questions, and you get asking, you will receive. It's kind of the law that I live by, and it's like it's important to ask questions. So maybe polarization topics. I'm not too sure. Well, whoever comes through and drives in, I'm just not answering any more fucking questions about Christianity because I'm moving on from that. There are other people to go harass about that shit. I'm not one of them. And it's different. Like if you have like an actual like topic of interest with it, then we can talk about it. But I'm not just gonna be like, people walk in like, you need to go to Jesus. I'm just gonna block. I'm just gonna get rid of you. You're automatically working for the Antichrist because you're doing the exact thing that Jesus said not to do. Go away. Like you're the demon. Unfortunately, you just need to actualize it for a second. So I just gotta get rid of him. I can't. Like last night was, well, not last night, but yesterday was a breaking point for that. I was like, dude, I can't do this no more. I can't entertain it. It's just draining. Yeah, and it's like I don't get mad at them. I get irritated at myself more than anything that I allow them to make me feel agitated or to spark up any form of feeling. So it's best for me to avoid until I can figure out what the fuck's going on with that and then allow them back in. You know what I mean? So it's not even like a them thing. It's very much like a me thing. I know like, the issues that I'm having and the correlations and the spawnings of those that I'm still working through. So you know, it's not even that I'm mad at anyone. It's genuinely like I'm doing it because I need to heal, and I'd rather not fucking give my rational mind any more fuel to try and tear me down. So it's a good thing. We do things very differently over here. I'm not. It's very different over here. Um, but it's just how I am. It's how I was raised, kind of. My mom kind of raised me that way. My dad was more military style, so I had this weird upbringing between like Southern Appalachian woman and like Massachusetts, an army raised man. Uh, the daughter of the weather god. Um, because Sophia was considered a brother to Jesus, which means that she's an archetype of Jesus. But Sophia represented the false light. Um, in that sense, Archangel Michael isn't really an angel. People just call them angels because we know them as angels. Archangel Michael is known as one of the 24 elders, one of the 24, 25, whatever number people say these days. Some people say 24, some people say 20, 25, but they're part of the elders. A lot of your angels are actually elders. They're not angels. They're beings that have already ascended, following different paths of their life for what they were supposed to do, and harvesting the true light for who they are. That's why you have like your violet children, your blue children, your seven colors of the rainbow. Your seven archangels are just seven pillars of light that are encoded with specific lessons that you need to learn that they can come down and teach. They're the elders that teach you different things about how this realm works. So it's not necessarily that. In Ra, the premise of Ra is the Egyptians knew Ra as the sun. But Ra was truly what Christians believe who God is now, the one that created himself from nothing. that would be Ra. But created himself from nothing means created himself from darkness, which is referring to creating from the mother. So the offspring for of the mother. The Watchers and the Elders are. Okay, I'm gonna be tread very carefully with this because I don't want to get this wrong. You can consider them being Watchers because the Elders are made up of the Ya and Ways, the two beings of agreeable and disagreeable. Some of the Watchers are some of the disagreeable Elders, but not all the Elders are disagreeable or the Watchers. The number 37 just means 10, which is just one, or an elevated one. No, not really. You know, I stick with the basic numerology of things. I don't do all the westernized stuff that people do today. So like whenever I see numbers, it goes immediately to the sum of all of them, and whatever that number means. You know, per throughout whatever like stage of life you're going through with the 9 numbers, or like anything around that sense. I stick with it in that sense. So 37 to me would just mean one, but since that one was derived from 10, it's like going to a new level of something. It could even just mean starting over as well. It all depends on the context as well, you know. Since you're ultraviolet too. Not too sure. Um, I'm not too sure about that, Samantha. I don't know. I will have to go around and ask some people and do some research on that. Yeah, see, you can also do that. That's like you can also take like do like angel numbers and get like the specific meaning for each of those numbers and combine them. That's technically like how people are supposed to use angel numbers, but they've given like definitions to like a code basically. So they're just trying to like encode you with that, but they don't need to create a code out of something that's already a code. So they're I don't know. It's like double. It's like I don't want to say double dipping, but it's like adding an extra layer to something that doesn't have an extra layer added to. Um, I have no idea who this person is. Yeah, that makes sense. You know, those numbers just break down to two, and two is the masculine force. Trauma is always caused by a force or a pushing of oneself to another. 25? No, 25 is 7. That just means 2. That's the Sabbath. That's the weight. And the 2 and the 5 would just be, the 5 would represent the mind interacting with matter and time, and 2 being like a force. So that'd be moving forward on the physical in some formal way, in that sense. I mean, that depends on what cipher you're using for letters. Because, like, you know, even though they have a numerical numbers, the letters that we use derive from actual symbols. No, I'm not, because that's not what my job is to do. That's not what I focus on. So, no, I'm not gonna. I don't speak on what just happened. That's not my concern. It's not something I talk about. You don't have to be sorry. Why does everyone gotta say sorry for me responding to them? I've noticed that everyone has, like, I don't know why. You're fine. God, dude, I don't know what's going on. I'm either healing way too much, or like I'm gravitating the people that are hopping on the train again. And that's not like bad, but I've been really like noticing it heavily. Yeah, I'll look into it. Owls are just about wisdom, seeing things from a true wise perspective. They're natural hunters. They're observers. It's just time to take, not rest, but to see things from a true, higher perspective, to receive the wisdom from it, not just the experience from it. So don't try and decipher your feelings. Learn to feel them and allow them to exist. Don't decipher or think about them. Just allow them to be. Yeah, I got you with the general for tarot. All right, so Kay, your card is the Five of Wands reverse. Right now, the outer world may be swaying your position one way or other, in a way that isn't, beneficial. So pay attention to that. Pay attention to the things going around that are flaming your senses. Has someone recently said something to you? Have you said something to yourself? What's happened to allow a different shift in a plan that you've had? The plan that you had was made for you, but there's something about the world around you or the way that people do things that are around you that have you second guessing or wanting to either stop or change what you're doing, making you feel like you don't deserve to do something or that you're not in the right position to. Don't allow that to be so, because that's something that's derived from your five senses. Your senses end up seeing something and trying to compare yourself to it, and they'll see that disconnect, and that's what causes that disbelief and that doubt. So pay attention to that. What things kind of pop up around you or like in your, within you, that are, swaying you away from one thing or another, today. That's the advice, heavily. Rule your ideas with more of an iron fist. Know that the ideas that you have are worthy. But all in all, just, build up more of that boundary of like, just because someone else can't see my vision, doesn't mean that I, can't still see my own vision. Like, it's your vision. No one else is going to really get it or see it the way that you do. So allow yourself to experience your vision the way you intend it, and not the way other people intend it to be. Or not even intend, but assume or try to project it to be. However it may be. Even yourself. Don't even allow past versions of yourself that have grabbed onto past ideals do that same thing to you, because it prevents you from truly moving forward in a higher way. Not even just in a higher way, but in a way that's more connected to yourself, a way that's more true to your heart space, and not so true to the rational mind that, again, just gauges things from an external perspective. I'm not too sure. I'm not too with African spirituality. I've been called by the Orishas a few times, so I have, worked with them a bit, but I haven't fully delved into my studies with them yet. I haven't been called to it, so it's either I don't need to, or it's just like coming up and around. But Amb, your card is the Two of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles is all about knowing that you can balance. It's about that struggle that you're going through when you are balancing out things. You may have like multitask, multi-projects you want to work on, just multiple things coming at you at once, or however this is for you, that you're needing to juggle in order to, get some sort of achievement so that you can actually make it through. Sometimes it can be like a make or break moment whenever you have to make a decision between going down the path that you're deciding that you've gone down, or choosing a different path because it's more comfortable to the ego rather than the heart. Something that, a choice between expansion or continuing down the same path. However the case, the feelings are shaky, and whatever those feelings are carrying has, the feelings are also carrying things, no matter how shaky they may be. But those reasons that the feelings are so shaky is because the mind is moving so much. With the card being a 2 card, it has a lot to do with masculine energy, the forces, the actual moving of things on the physical. Especially with, just being Pentacles 2 moving on the physical heavily. It could be work, it could be something on the physical. But finding the balance right now is key. And you're either finding the balance currently, or you're needing to just be aware that there is a balance that can be had. To start looking for it. Don't force yourself into like a box of things, and don't beat yourself up if you can't get a hold of a schedule immediately. It's going to take time to train this self. It takes time to discipline. So allow yourself to know that this is just one of those discipline times where you have to really dive into yourself and see like, what do I need to do and what do I not need to do? What things are benefiting and what things aren't benefiting, and starting from then on. And yeah, I can get you a reading too. Got you, no worries. Gotta pay attention then. I haven't got earrings in a while. I remember the last one I had almost felt like a sonic blast though. It was fucking wild. But yeah. But Tiana, your card is the Ace of Wands reversed. Right now there is an idea that isn't quite beneficial. It's not an idea that came from the divine. Whatever you're experiencing idea wise, like, oh, I should do this, oh, I should do that, oh, this is happening, that's happening. However this is, it's being generated from the mind space. It's being generated from the rational mind and not being given to you by the divine, or presented to you by the divine, I should say, really. So take a look at how you're seeing things, because you're seeing it from a point of impurity. It's not coming from a place of fire. It's not coming from a place of suitable fire, or a suitable starting place. It's coming from a form of either a past mindset habit or just a sensory overload. However the case is, the flame isn't quite sparked up yet. That doesn't mean that whatever plan you have is a failure. It could work out. You just need to find a different way to fuel the idea. You need to find a different way to allow that fuel to move through you, rather than allowing it to ramp up your thoughts. Allow it to ramp up the heart space, or allow it to ramp up the joy, the actual feeling that's supposed to give you, the excitement, the wonder, the curiosity to move forward with ideas, rather than the stress and the fear, and also the pessimism that curiosity can bring that holds people back. So at this time, just kind of take a look at that and see, you know, which aspects of the things that you're seeing are coming from like a minded like point of view, where it wants it to change or wants it to be a specific way, or if it's coming from a heart point of view where it sees that it is perfect the way that it is, and not finding a way to go around it or a way to avoid it, but a way to exist with it until it needs to disappear, until it's lessened, until its like presence or its time expires. And that's what I got for you. Yeah, I've been thinking about doing something like that. I don't have the equipment to do all that stuff at the point. I mean, I would have a way to do it for sure. But there would be a few things that I would need to get if I were to do that, especially if I was gonna do like a whole like proper Enochian thing. It would have to go differently. I mean, I kind of have my own system working with the angels and stuff that I work with that I've been trying to perfect. I'll eventually be making like a grimoire and putting it in there. But for now, um, I either need to like work more on the system itself to like work out certain kinks or like get items that would like boost that. And yeah, I got you, Lisette. Like, I mean, that's what I'm here to do. I don't know. I've kind of been like, I'm not gonna lie. It's been like over the like 2 years, but I've been kind of making um, my own like magic style. It's really weird because I'm using like all these different systems that they work together, but in very weird ways. And I'm glad that you benefited from the work. I do my best to like try and do that. I have like another sigil that I've been working on for a while, but it's just not working. There's something wrong with it. I messed up either a translation or like some of the angels aren't getting along that I put just because of like overlapping things, or I just got to figure it out. So I've been working on that. Um, and meditation music and stuff. Um, I might just have like a whole other channel for that stuff. And GG Tarot can't tell you where you're gonna move. That's not what tarot is used for. So I can't give you a reading about that. Um, that's because tarot can't future predict. That's physics. That's just impossible. Even by physics, it's impossible to future predict. Um, until we as people have an actual control over the mind, and not a domineering control, but a working together or a symbiotic control. No, you can't. Tarot's not going to tell you if you're going to move soon. That's future prediction. I can't tell you anything in the future. Only you know if you're going to move in the future, if you're going to move soon, because you have to make that choice. I could do a reading for you, and it could come out yes, but you could decide on that day not to move. You know what I mean? I can't predict that for you. I'm not. I can't lead us. I'm not going to lead people astray or blind. That's just not what I do. And yeah, of course, you can email me a decision. It's all good. We can do a reading to figure out why you don't have a belief in self of knowing, like why you don't feel like you're going to move or things in that sense. But we can't, and no, you're good. People just don't know this stuff. No one like is talking about it, and well, apparently someone else is talking about it. And I looked at the video. I like watched at least like a minute to like 2 minutes of it. And from the beginning intro, it seems like he's talking it straight up. He's giving it exact. So yeah, and yeah, there's generally no anger. I just like I'm monotone when I speak, and I also am looking around everywhere. I don't usually look directly into the camera because I'm multitasking all the time. So I'm not mad or like annoyed. I'm genuinely just like doing 1,000 things at once and also answering your question. So don't worry. Like I get a lot of people feel like I'm like mad when I say that. I'm not. It's just whatever. There's no need to be sorry. Don't be sorry for the lack of your knowledge. Be happy that you're giving me a reason to like actually be here and to teach. Because if everyone knew it, I wouldn't be here. There would be no reason for me. You know what I mean? Because I'm not here for myself. I'm here for everyone. I'm here to help other people. At that point, helping other people is just allowing me to see the different reflections of self that I have. I do my best, dude. I do my best to keep my soul good. I don't have to really try for my soul, but like I grew up with a heavy guilty conscience about stuff, so I always do it. I always like It's so weird. I always see like both sides of things, but it's gotten less of being a guilty conscience and more of like a beneficial tool, because it's like I can't get mad at anyone because I can see their side of things. So why, like, what position do I have? You know what I mean? Like, even as like a child, like in my teens, I would say like there are things that you've gone through that I haven't gone through. So what makes you better than me? You've gone through pain that I haven't even experienced or gone close to. So what makes you better than me? It's then vice versa. I've gone through things that people haven't even scraped yet. What makes me better than them? Nothing. Nothing will put you under a barricade. You know, that's just what the ego wants to do. We've all had experiences. We've all experienced the same, what we know as emotions. We've just experienced them at different intensities, and that intensity is dependent on like ourselves, how open we are with ourselves, how well are we able to feel with ourselves. You know, how much did we restrict and how much did we allow? But I don't know. But yeah. The whole like fortune telling with tarot is like it has history. It's not just something that was made up for no reason. It's not just people taking it and running with it. They're literally just being fooled by one of the oldest jokes in the world. Which is fine because it was supposed to fool the masses. It did its job for fucking eons apparently, dude. Um That's the thing. If your tarot card readers are supposed to be psychologists, by the way. If you're reading tarot, you're supposed to know how the mind works. You're supposed to be a psychic. And a psychic isn't someone that picks up on spirits as a psychopomp. It's different. Psychics. Look up the origin. I'll do it for you, actually. I got you. Because I love doing this shit anyway. I look how I typed it in. The first thing that popped up was chick. So look. We'll walk through it. There is two. Stop this. Are you serious? Dude, my whole like browser's not working. It's not letting me type what I want to type in. Dude, why does it always look... No one said to look up the word pay. Are you okay? I think, dude, Google's fucking with me. I said etymology of the word sigh, and it said, did you mean pay? No, I did not mean pay. I meant sigh. Quit fucking with me. Anyway, we have it now. And the etymology of sigh, it comes from the Greek word psyche, which means soul, mind, or spirit. This is like what we talked about. When people say mind, body, and soul, it's not supposed to be mind, body, and soul. It's mind, body, and spirit. It's known as spirit. Greek put the word spirit there. It's really soul and mind. Those two words are together. We are a mind and we have a soul. The spirit is the energy, the source that moves through us. And then I was gonna look it up here, but I couldn't. But for chick, all three here, excuse me. It just means tact, skill, stylishness, subtlety, the arranged, set in order, being able to have your mind in order, being able to know your mind, reading your mind, having the skill of your mind. People don't have that. If you can't control your output, or at least know why you're outputting the way you are, you're not a psychic, because you're not knowing the configurations that's causing that to happen. That's the difference. These psychics are not psychics, they're psychopomps. Call them the correct term. Your mediums are not mediums. They're using a medium. Then what's their medium? Their medium would be their brain if they were a psychic, but they're not. Their medium is their vessel. They're allowing spirits into their vessel, not their mind, into their vessel. That vessel then holds that spirit that then becomes the new consciousness. And then that's how people channel. That's how that works. It's just this consciousness of that spirit. And consciousness is just a byproduct of energy. It takes energy to produce consciousness. Without energy, without power, we wouldn't have consciousness. Energy is what keeps things running, keeps things moving. Energy isn't this weird like one stasis thing. It's the successor of life. It's why people say energy could be pi or something. Well, not most people, but some people say energy can be pi in that sense, as it is just that pure source. It doesn't have a bad attunement to it. It just does what it's meant to do. It's pure. The intention that one puts with it is what moves it. It becomes purely wholly that one thing, based off the intention. That's why mixed intentions lead to mixed results, and precise intention leads to precise results. But yeah, going down that whole style of, that whole like ramp of things. A lot of the terms that people use, they start using them right, and I look at people like they're crazy. Because it's like, what I don't like, I do not, when people say that they're a psychic, I don't like believe them, because I know what a psychic is. It's so weird. It's not really weird. I mean, it is kind of faded. Yeah, never mind, I'll keep it. Welcome in Destiny. But yeah, like, if we could, as the spiritual community makes up a bunch of terms and like tries to make it look pretty and nice, but it's like, once you know what those terms actually mean and like what they're sugarcoating, it's like, what are you doing? Like, why are like, you're trying to show us the truth, you're leading us to the truth. No, you're just making us more aware of spirits. You're just doing what Christianity should have done in the first place, was to make us aware that there are spirits and entities around that will, well, not even just Christianity, but like the new religion should have been more in depth into like the spirit science, the sciences of the spirits, and more workings with them as time evolves, as we evolve with our relationship with them. But instead we condemned them and trap them, so only those that actually keep up that relationship know shit about spirit. Because it's like, I'm not gonna talk, like, would you talk to someone that would oppress you? No. So why the fuck would why the fuck would a spirit that's being oppressed talk to those that's oppressing it? Like, bitch, no, I'm gonna just give you warning shots, tell you to back the fuck up, and then I'm gonna talk to the ones that are gonna listen. On what career to choose? I can't tell you what career to choose. That's not really how tarot works. I can give you advice on what's keeping you from making that decision yourself, though. Yeah, and then even then, like, hoodoo and voodoo get such bad raps, because fucking anytime you hear hoodoo or voodoo, it's some form of horror spookism movie, or it's some form of dogmatic belief that someone's adopted because they knew someone who knew someone that did some shit. And it's like, dude, this is like traditions of life. Did you know that Christianity is really hoodoo? Because if you fucking look at Psalms, all that stuff is hoodoo. That's fucking hoodoo practitioners swear about that shit day in and day out. A lot of your like Haitian and like voodoo, hoodoo, your African systems are in modern day Christianity within the Pentecostal systems, dude. But people don't want to listen to it. Why do you think you got altars and white cloths and shit? Those are things from those traditions. It was in the Bible. It's the holy tabernacles that they got to build. No, you got to build this altar by this cubit, by that cubit. That's the whole point of that. That's teaching you how to build an altar, not to summon God, but to conjure spirits, dude. It's not just God. It's to contact. It's to contact all sorts of beings. Your extraterrestrial ancestors, your ancestors who were passed on. Different species of beings, different animals, all sorts of shit. I got you, Disney. No worries. But it's like, I don't know, man. The more you look at things from different angles, I don't know. I look at things like a kaleidoscope, because I always liked kaleidoscopes as a kid, but I wasn't allowed around them. I don't know why I wasn't allowed around kaleidoscopes as a kid. I had one, I got in trouble. It was really weird. But I was always fascinated with them, so I always did my best to like mimic one. Dude, my inner child has been like thriving ever since like I've jumped back on the journey after like my dark night of the soul, because all these like little silly things that I used to do have come back, and it's like, no, these are actually like really helpful tips. Like, imagining that I'm a kaleidoscope actually helps me fucking see things from different angles. It's like, no, I'm not actually seeing anything. I'm just seeing a fucking angle of like a multi-dimensional aspect. It's just so weird. I don't know. It's hard to explain because I came out. I popped out of the heart space because I have the card now. But anyway, Destiny, your card is the Ace of Pentacles reverse. What's gonna really help you find the job is by seeing what's gonna lead you down a path that's more beneficial to you. With the Pentacle being in reverse, you may be struggling to find like a specific job due to like price costings or a guaranteed stability with it. And that may be causing a little bit issues. They might not have a lot of good prices with jobs around as right now anyway. As well, I don't know why I'm stuttering so much. Sorry. You might not have jobs that are paying the price that you're wanting, or wanting a threshold at as well. But focus more on what's going to nurture you to get more on the physical, which would be that spiritual, that heart space feeling. So instead of focusing on the job of like what you're going to receive from it, like what benefits on the physical you're going to receive from it, see it from a choice of what's going to allow me to really live the life that I'm desiring. What's the job that's going to be comfortable for me, that I'm going to enjoy, but is also going to support me on that physical. And seeing it in that sort of light, because right now it's not that you don't see a path to walk down, it's that you're not seeing some form of goal or some sort of output that you're desiring. The pinnacle is there, but it's not the pinnacle that you want, or at least the pinnacle that is gonna like be sustainable, right? It's a pinnacle that's being given to you by the rational mind of, oh, these things aren't giving you enough money, so you need to go do a different thing. Or even if you get this job, you won't have enough. All these fears that the mind will like end up creating, it's like keeping you from seeing that path. So step away from it on that physical and see it from like, what would I actually benefit from it? Would this job be easy for me to do? Will it be something that like I can get paid for and feel good about the pay, but also not be sacrificing enough of myself? Seeing it from that aspect is really how you're going to need to move forward. Don't worry about the physical part of it. Worry about the spiritual attunement. And when you do that, when you move on that physical, you'll then gravitate towards, it might not be a huge price gouge, it might not be the best, but it's going to be something that's going to solidify the current situation to help you move through what you're in now. And then as you move through that, things will evolve and move on. But just find the things that like really spark you up. Like if you like animals, look into like not necessarily being a vet, because that would require schooling and stuff. Be like someone that takes care of like a dog daycare, or like a pet daycare or something like that. Pet sit for people. Do things like that. Don't just think that your job has to be like someone out there. You can start up like a small like, hey, I do this, I do that, I take care of animals, I can babysit, do these things, and moving along that way with it as well. That would require an LLC, but you can get like a LLC for free. There's like a whole contract that you can do to put the LLC under your own regimen, so you don't actually have to pay the like the state taxes and shit. But that's like a whole thing to do, and you have to like fill out like a whole bunch of forms and shit. But you don't have to like worry about being restricted by any form of like government at that point. Regardless, there are more avenues. It doesn't have to be as solid as it thinks right now. But yeah, those forms are definitely worth it. I forgot the name of the forms that you would have to fill out. But I can link his. I'll link his Instagram for you. This dude knows the forms. I know for a fact he does, because he's the one that not really showed me it, but he made a video that showed me like how to fill it out. But you can. I'm pretty sure he still answers like DMs and stuff. So you could probably ask him like, what's the form? I don't need to go here. I need to click over here. But you could ask him like, what forms would I need to fill out for this? What are the steps? He has books on this stuff as well. He's really, really, really informative. But yeah, he can definitely get you like on that right path. He also has like he has services. He has like a free 15-minute call to get you started on like a business or an idea thing, so you can definitely do that too. But he's cool. He popped up on my radar a while back, um, by trusted people. So I was like, okay, I'll check him out. And he's like, the advice he gives is very like solid. Um, it's kind of vague because it goes over like just a topic in general. But it is very helpful. I'm not like watching the video. I have my cursor hovered over it, reading the subtitles, and I could see how I'm not like for the general public because he was talking about the conscious and the unconscious, and I was like, oh fuck, I'm over here using terms like the rational mind and the intuitive mind. No wonder people are fucking confused, dude. Sometimes I'm fucking over here speaking above people. I was like, damn, put it a little bit into perspective. The video that you told me of the tarot's hidden patterns that really the Borg official video. I was hovering over it, and he's using terms of like, yeah, I'm not like watching it. I'm like hovering over it and reading the subtitles as it goes by ever so often, and he's using like very like basic terms. I'm using the like I'm using the like further down the road we talk about the actual type shit deeper. So I'm glad to have him doing this shit because eventually people are gonna start getting the deeper curves. No, but that's good though because that's the thing. The way I was taught is by the terms I'm telling you all. But I'm not just using the terms, I know what they mean. Like, I can tell you what the rational mind is. I can tell you what it means to be rational. I can tell you about the intuitive mind. I know these sciences, so that's the terms that I use. I can't, it's hard for me to go back to like the conscious mind and stuff unless I'm talking to someone that like can't get when I describe what I'm going forward with. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's good to have people who are talking about it in that sense. I could, but it's something that like I don't. It's just something that I just not called to do. I guess you know what I mean. It's not even like an ego thing, because I can talk about it. It's more of just like I want to keep moving forward, and it's hard. It's a decision I have to make where it's like, do I move forward and leave a few behind, and allow them to catch up when they can because it's not just gonna be me and I know that, or do I sacrifice that part of self? But I kind of just want to keep moving forward. Yeah, that's the thing. Like I don't want to like hold back. I want to like catch people up because like there might be people that don't need to hear the conscious mind. There might be people that need to hear the terms that I'm using, and it's going to be like, oh damn, well that's why this is that. That makes a lot more sense, and they dive down and get their own stuff. You know what I mean? We're all doing it at different angles. I'm just glad that you pointed out that Morg did that because that's what we need. I'm just so happy for it. I was immediately intrigued when you said, "Did you know that someone else is diving into?" I'm like, "Oh really? Like who? I want to know. Let me see what they're talking about because if someone else is talking about it, like I want to know. Like I want to see how we're working together, and this is perfect because now that it's at that level, people are gonna go boom, get to that, and then boom, everything else. It's like I don't know. There's no competition with what I'm doing. I'm just happy, dude. I'm so happy that I know that now. Exactly, and that's the thing. Like when because I don't even just like straight up talk about it. If you have a question, I'll go in and describe about it. Um, it's like I do my best to describe it because I know it's just fucking. I've learned things at a weird level, and you know, it's just interesting. I love it's just I'm just happy that things are fucking moving. Like it's so good. And even then, like you might get it in a different way than what I'm telling you, and then you tell it to someone else, and it might get closer to like what we're really trying to get down into, or it might stray further away. It doesn't matter. It's just about getting it out there. We'll worry about the imperfections when it gets there. It doesn't have to be perfect now. I'm still learning, for Pete's sakes, dude. I had to make an update because I got a few bit of information wrong. I'm gonna be wrong sometimes. But you know, we're out here teaching, and I'm glad to see someone else is talking about it. Especially because they're getting way more views too. So it's so much better because like I don't have to, you know, that's not even, I mean, the views aren't even a concern for me, but now that I'm seeing more and more people, like, I don't know, getting confirmation from my mentor and then like just seeing the views on the videos, like, okay, people are really interested in what tarot is. Like, people are really wanting to know if tarot is like real or not. And it's kind of hard to go up to like me or like my mentor, because my mentor taught me like pretty much like out the gate, because he knew that I wasn't like, he knew like I knew a lot of like elevated stuff already. So I was just taught at like a higher level than a lot, which surprised the fuck out of him. He didn't know why he was telling me half the stuff he was telling me within the first week of us teaching. So he was like, there's something different about you. It's like, I'm here, like I'm the fucking student that you called when the student's ready, teacher appears type shit. I was ready. So I'm just happy. Exactly. See, it's not about the words, it's about the feeling. That's why my catchphrase on the channel is felt not heard. You can use all the big words that you want, but it's about that feeling that actually gets someone. It has nothing about the words. And if you can say something that touches someone, you've done it. Doesn't matter if they agree with it or not. You've touched them. That's all you got to do. Your job is done. You got the message to the other person's soul, and you can rest happily. See, that's the thing. Like, all these terms is like people don't know about these things, but these things are part of the spiritual journey. If you're spiritual, you should know about these things. It's like the crucifixion. It's like the story of Job, and like the birth of Jesus and the three wise men, and the incense and the myrrh and everything that they brought. Knowing those things amplifies your knowledge of what that is. You gotta know these deeper things. They're occult, they're secret, but the biggest secret is that there's no secret. We all know that these things exist. We just don't know what they're actually labeled as, or what they've been coined or called. You know what I mean? And welcome in. But yeah, that's like the big struggle that I've had with this channel, is trying to find a way to talk about those subjects, because it's not just people that are learning from me. There's people that like know all this stuff already that I'm saying, and they're just like, we're watching me basically to see like, who are you? Like, who sent you here? Are you here from the actual divine, or did the devil send you to fucking play a game, right? That's just how people are tested. Um, so it's just, I gotta figure out, you know, how to just speak information, because I don't care about being wrong. I'll correct myself on it. I really, who gives a damn? But it's more of just like getting the information out, not only for those that need to learn, but for those that already know the things and are looking for like a deeper way of looking at it. Which I think I've done a decent job at. We've got all sorts of walks of life over here. I got you. I had to reread what you sent, but I know what you mean. I got you. See, that's the thing, Kay. I literally have a I have a live stream uploaded, and it said tarot information update, and I was like, yeah, I was wrong about this and that and that, but other than that, we're good. I don't know, like, it's it's really like a humility thing. If you can't laugh at yourself, then you're afraid to be wrong. Not it's not that you are afraid to be wrong. That's a bit too much of a blunt statement. It can correlate with you feeling like being afraid of being wrong. If you can't laugh at yourself, it's like that fear of being humiliated, that feel of being not necessarily a joke, but to be humored. Not humored in the sense of you intending it to be, but humored by like a mistake. You know, it's like it comes from like a self-worth, sacral solar plexus chakra issue, of course. But learning to laugh at yourself, even if it's a small mistake, just learning to laugh instead of like vocalizing some like, oh, I hate myself for all that things, can it changes that aspect. I feel that, let's say I am a very feminine masculine. And I pick up on a lot of people's intentions really quickly, especially in on like in person. And dude, there are a lot of like men and women that I just can't stand around. I don't mean like stand. I can't like stand around them, being their energy. I mean, because it's like they. I pick up on like the tendencies, and I get this weird like, oh, let me coddle you because I can tell that you've gone through those things because I've gone through them and I know how it feels and how it looks. So I know you're going through them, and I want to coddle that, but I can't because that's just going to trigger that aspect of me again, and not in like an pessimistic sense, but it's going to cause me to sacrifice bits of me that I don't want to, because I'll let that trick be ran 2 or 3 times before I put the foot down. You know what I mean? I care about people a lot, and I know that they can do better. So it's more of just setting that stronger boundary. I'm doing. Did you want? Did you want a reading on the same thing, Kay, or not? I need to know real quick. But I'm gonna get to yours. Lisette, my bad. So, funnily enough, Lisette, your card is actually the Eight of Pentacles, and that does tell you a lot about not wanting to work. With the Eight of Pentacles reversed, you might not be prolific in your work. The Eight of Pentacles is the evolved card of the Three of Pentacles, and I'll show you how. Let me find it real quick. I don't usually do this, but I feel called to do this heavily because it's going to really connect some things in a different way. But with the Three of Pentacles, you know, it's the dude on the little bench, holding the hammer and the chisel, looking at the masculine and the feminine who's holding the blueprint. The Eight of Pentacles shows you the querent from the Three of Pentacles doing that work on your own, but with it being in reverse, you're not too sure. Maybe you didn't plan something out, you know. And as you can even see there, the hammer and the chisel are in the hands on both the cards, as well. It's really the same dude, everything, right? And the reason for that is because the elevation, the evolution of you, the changing of you, the moving forward of that. With the Eight of Pentacles being in reverse, the plan might have not been there. You might not be prolific. You might need to go back and study. You might have hit at the wrong time. There might need to be more trials and testing. You know, with the muscle training again. But having a set organization for it. And as well as knowing that you can. The Eight of Pentacles is all about knowing that you can do the work. It's about not only just doing it, but having proof in the past, using the past as proof. You know, the abilities, the things that you've done in the past, that have boosted you forward, that have helped you. Looking at those things to move forward and helping you. Going back to the why of things rather than looking at the how, right? The how, it comes from like, how am I going to do this? I don't know how to do this. I can't do this. These worries that comes from that rational mind of being so focused on the physical and seeing what the physical is giving to you rather than what you're giving to it. Focusing more on the aspect of I've done these things before in the past. They might not have been on the scale that it's going to be on now, but it's built up to this point. That's the building of that energy. It continuously stays with you and gets stronger in that sense doing that. So this could just be even a self-worth issue. Not necessarily saying that you don't believe in yourself or you think yourself is bad, but believing that you can put that energy out. This wouldn't be a sacral issue. This would be a solar plexus issue in that sense, because you're not finding the reserve of that energy to move forward. But yeah, I would do some solar plexus. I wouldn't worry too much about the sacral unless you feel like it's affected in some sort of way. But yeah, and yeah, humiliation rituals, they are a thing. Like it's not like, you know, people do that all the time for fame. It's not, and what's interesting about a humiliation ritual on the external, they do happen a lot. That's what happens when people are like backdoored sometimes, or like whenever people get people set up to get shot and shit. That's also part of the damn. I don't want to say physical because the other thing is physical too, but it's less of signing and being humiliated to a spirit, and more humiliating another flesh for the gratification of more flesh. So the opposite of like selling your soul and doing humiliation rituals for like the industry would just be to go around and do things for the people that humiliate others or degrade others in that sense, killing others, robbing them, things like that, to gain that fame in that sense. I don't know how we got on that topic. I'm sorry. Oh, because you said humiliation ritual. That's right. But working on your solar plexus will definitely help you with that. Since you did say humiliation ritual, I would probably just do a lower chakra cleanse, like all three of them, and then work on on your throat chakra. So I would definitely do that. But yeah, a lot of people in the music industry do that. Um, and actually, that's why I got out of the music industry. I don't know if it was a humiliation ritual. I don't know what it was. I hope to God it was just a bunch of unstable teenagers who thought it was okay to bully someone online. At the end of the day, even though that's not good either, it's a lot lesser than like a fucking humiliation ritual. But right when I got my foot stepped into like the scene of the music industry online, I did a charity album release with these people. And we raised over $3,000 in 24 hours, which was super good. It went to all sorts of it went to God dang it, what was it? I don't want to say the it wasn't the Trevor organization. It was the other one. I think it was something about dolphins. I don't remember. Anyway, it was like a trans gay like care thing that we were doing just to help people like, who need therapy for that or need like assistance at home living and things like that. That's where we were donating the money to. And a week after that event happened, someone dug up dirt on the dude who ran it, and he ended up killing himself a few days after that and left his wife and child behind. And after that happened, I removed myself from the music industry because I was like, I'm not going to be a part of this. I don't care at all. That's bullshit. I don't agree with any of it. And everyone who's a part of that project is a fucking nuisance now in my mind because I can't erase that. Because every one of those people were telling him directly to do it. And then when he did it, everyone was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for him to. You told him to. You wanted him to. You thought he deserved it. You had posts on Twitter saying like all sorts, like 50 plus people were on this dude. It was not okay. And I know every single one of them. And none of them make music anymore. They've all stopped making music. So whatever happened fucking did not work at all. It was really bad. It's really fucking awful. Literally no one makes music out of all those people. It's so bad. I think they like ruined their whole like taste for it. But that's their fault. That's what they get for playing dumb games like that. I backed away because I wasn't a part of it. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I just need to stay out of it. Oh hell yeah, welcome in. Grand Rising from fucking Kentucky, dude. Las Vegas, Nevada. Let's go. I have family up in Nevada. I haven't seen them in a while. They might be passed on by now. They were pretty old. Yeah, listen, if someone's trying to, like, that's the thing. Um, the situation that I was in my last apartment situation, the only reason I went through all of that is because my roommate's girlfriend wanted to be a tarot reader as well. That's really the only reason why I went through all that. It was really petty. But they were trying to find a way to get me to slip up so that I would fall out and then they could take the place or whatever. That wasn't gonna work. I couldn't be humiliated. I can't be humiliated. Dude, if you knew what I did in high school and middle school, I don't have like guilt. I'm fine with my life. I'm okay. I've made peace with self. I have issues with what I'm doing current time. My past has my past is fine. It's my current actions that I'm still like learning to gain more control over. Not really even learning to gain more control over, but to just relax more and to move with the flow. Yeah, like you can prevent a destiny swap. Magic works off of not you can't just send magic to someone and it work. You know, magic works off of off of two systems. It's literally the intention and the receptivity. Someone's intention could be to ruin your business or whatever. But if you're intending to grow your business, it doesn't matter because you're accepting that energy as growing. Now, if you go off the fear based mindset and go, oh, my life's falling apart because they're doing that, then they get that control because now your receptivity is the fear that they're trying to bring you to create that in your life. So don't receive it. You don't have to send it back. You don't have to defend yourself from it. Well, when you get to a point of mental defense, when you're able to use the mind in that sort of way, of course, do what you need to do for now. But when you're at that certain point, you'll see it as the intention and the receptivity. Someone's intent may be to take you down, but if your intent is stronger than that, you are fine. If you don't show fear, you're not agreeing to that other aspect. If you're not giving it the response that it needs, you're not agreeing to it. And like when it comes down to destiny swapping, if you first of all, you don't even need to know what your destiny is. Your rational mind wants to know what your destiny is. You have a destiny, period, point blank. Everyone has one. You're here for the reason, for that exact reason, to fulfill your destiny. Cinderella effect. Know you have a destiny, it's yours. No one can take it. Doesn't matter what anyone does because it's yours. They can't be you. They can't be your energy. They can't do it. They can mask themselves as you, but they don't know who you are. They can't think like you. Put them in a room where you had to be spontaneously you. They would fail. They wouldn't know what to fucking do. They would do something, you'd look, what the fuck are you doing? I'd never do that shit. That's embarrassing. Like, what do you mean that you do it all the time? Nah, that's you mocking it. You don't know how to do it, that's you mimicking it. Cause you're not me. You can't mimic the original. And that's the truth of it. It's just this mental defense that you need to build up. That's not taught. Only thing you're taught about in modern day spirituality is all the fear-based bullshit. Like, oh, magic, voodoo, hexes and shit. People doing things to you. Who cares? People do that shit all the time. Do you remember in fucking elementary school when you said sticks and stones may break my bones, but words may never hurt me? That's a fucking spell, dude. Talk about counteracting some shit. That's what it did. Some people literally walked away with a smile on their face and had the other person crying in tears because of that shit being said. Other kids just like laughed off and did whatever the case was. If you fully knew that that was true and didn't just say it to believe it or say it because you heard it, it changed you. You moved forward differently. If you said it just to say it, it affected you later. It gave you that barrier for that time just then and there, but later on it affected you. And that's the proof of that working. That's the proof of the mentality, the things that you believe, the things that you say and do
overpowering the intent of someone else. Doesn't matter. If you can change it in that split instant, it will change. Until you change for that state, it won't change. An object in motion will stay in motion until stopped by another force. An unmovable object will not be stopped by an unmovable force. If that unmovable object is someone's words and you're unmovable in your action, you're going to phase right the fuck through it, because that's how physics works, and you're not going to be stopped. It's not going to be stopped. You're not going to be stopped. You're unstoppable. You can't be stopped. You're going to be phased through. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to worry about it. These are things that we need to be learning in spirituality, but no one teaches them. This is your esotericism. This is your secrets, by the way. They're not that big of a secret. It should be common knowledge, because this would help you. I mean, you figure it out on your journey alone, but you don't get it directly from someone. And it's okay to learn it on your own, but some people can't learn it on their own. Some people need the help. Some people's part of their journey is to walk with someone because they need it for a while, and then they spread off and figure out, oh, that's what it was for me. You know, regardless, at the end of the day, we should probably start taking, like, stop talking about ancestors, we get it. Stop talking about Egypt, we get it. Stop talking about all this shit, we get it. Let's talk about the important things that these entities, these places and people brought to us, instead of just talking about them. We're doing the same thing that the fucking people do about Jesus in the Bible. We're glorifying these places and our ancestors instead of the knowledge that they brought down to us. That's why the ones that gratify that knowledge and that wisdom are out there doing what they need to do with their shit. Everyone else is still kind of figuring it out. You know? It's, you know, and that's not for everyone. That's not splitting people up into two categories, of course. It's bigger than that, but we're just talking about it in, you know, in Latin, in like Latin terms. I think that's the term to use. I think, I'm not sure. But like, and welcome in. But yeah, like, it's not the fact that all these things don't exist, because everything exists. It's just simply, it doesn't have that much control over you. We get so, like, caught up in it, because it's how we are. We get so focused on shit. We like to be the center of attention, and it's not because we're bad. It's because we are the center of attention. We're the star. People, oh, you came from the stars. You have star. We are the star. The brain is the chauffeur, and the heart is the tank, the engine that's fueling you to move. You're the star. That's the chauffeur, and your chauffeur is telling you to do a bunch of shit that you don't want to do. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, there's no such thing as junk DNA. It's junk because it's not being used. Start fucking using it. I don't know. You know what I mean. That was a joke as a half, but, you know, like, figure out ways to unlock different aspects of yourself. Breathing. You have these energetic connections with things. Oh, I really feel called to do this, but you don't do it. That's calling you for a reason. Go to it. There's something there that wants you. Don't worry about what's there. You're gonna be protected. Don't, oh, what if something bad's there? Okay, and what are you gonna do about it? Let it be bad to you? No, you're gonna defend yourself. You'll be fine. The divine's got you. You'll be fine. Don't let your mind trick you at your spot, because you'll be tricking yourself at your spot way more than you think. I don't deserve this. I don't feel like I can do this. I think people don't notice me. People are sleeping on me. That's selling your spot out, because now you don't believe in yourself. Now you're agreeing to what the outer world is showing you. It's like, oh, since you come into agreement with it, that's where we're going to stand for a minute. Like, really, we have so much more control. We have free will, but we're also working with the chauffeur that has learned about free will and also now has free will. That's why your mind can create feelings. It has the free will to do that, because you are your mind. You are the mind. You're just observing your mind. That's why you can disagree with it, because it's not just you. You're also watching it. You can't argue with yourself. You know what I mean? If you were to look at yourself, you wouldn't say no to things. You say, yeah, I want to do this. Yeah, I want to do that. You wouldn't say no. The fact that you argue with there's someone else in there that's controlled not by evil forces or something bad. It's controlled by something that's not connected to it. It's gathering information. That's what it's meant to do. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you for saying each side of the helix is its own helix. Thank you for saying that. I learned that in high school. I distinctly remember learning that in high school. and the whole crystallization process that like the whole helix and shit goes through. I remember learning about that shit. Distinctly saying that your DNA is 3 strands. They're really, it's more 4 strands because the whole like X chromosome is 2 strands bound together. And then each of those strains are opposite of each other, or carry different, data, for lack of a better term. And then they cross, they intersect. Yeah, the 4th strand is the visible part. Yeah. And so, but like this is, we learned that I learned that shit in high school. I remember like this shit's not, it's not new. We literally we were bullied. We were so focused on the physical in school that we weren't seeing these things. And it's not that the schooling, see, the schooling system is bad because it's indoctrination. It keeps you stuck on a one pathway, right? But there are subjects within school that we need to learn. Like science as a whole, we need to know. Physics as a whole, we need to know. Biology, we need to know. We should know these things when we first are born because we interact with them first. Like the first thing we interact with. We interact with physics before anything, dude. The second you're born and your brain clicks on, you have consciousness. Not even that, way before your consciousness is even like collecting memory. The second you're born, whenever you start crying, that's physics happening. That's a chemical reaction. The air is burning your throat, your lungs. It's getting that air oxygen for the first time. It burns it, it purifies it. You cry, tears happen, noise happens. That's a bunch of physics happening right off the bat. Like, we should learn about these things when we first get out there. They say that we aren't able to. No, we are able to, because from the ages of 5, when you hit 5, that's when your theta waves die out. That's when you enter school. That's when your consciousness is most malleable. From the ages of, like, what was it, like 3 months to 5 years old or something like that, your conscience is really malleable. If you just jumped into school in 5th grade learning this shit, there wouldn't be an issue. We would be we would be superhumans compared to us now, but we're not. We're not taught that. We're taught a bunch of other bullshit that isn't needed. We're taught like children, like we're lesser than, and then we grow up believing that we are unless we excel in what we're given. And it's just fucking bullshit at that aspect. But they teach important subjects. It's just the way it is awful. It's fucking ran like a jailhouse for a reason, dude. It keeps you fucking awful. That's why so many people in school get like depressed or have anger issues and shit, or they stoop off and do these other like substances and things. Or it's awful, dude. Because like my school experience was not fun. No, we are not giving our initiations at all. And people won't even think that knowing those 3 sciences would be an initiation. It is. Learning physics is a whole initiation in itself because it teaches you not how you interact with the world, but how your mind perceives the interaction of the world around you. Because it's physics. It has nothing to do with you, but your psyche, your psychic sense, your mental. When you're talking about the physical world, it's also talking about the mind and how it's interacting. You are the mind. You are both soul and mind. You're not spirit. You don't want to be spirit. Spirit is just a term for an apparition, or a ghostly apparition. So it could be anything from like fucking a full-on demon. It could be a fucking banshee. It could be anything that you're calling on when you say spirit. You gotta be careful. It's about the soul, not the journey of the spirit. There's so much. Listen, dude. See, this is what I'm saying. If I can get on a talking point, I can go off for ages on shit. I just don't know what to talk about. My issue was figuring out what to talk about, but I know my shit. Just give me a subject. If I know about it, I could talk about it for ages and I won't stop. But there's so much to talk about it. Yeah, because all medicine does, it doesn't heal. It just prevents the side effect from happening. The side effect of pain or uncomfortability or like, however, it just numbs that. It doesn't solve anything. It just subsides it for a while. Which is why people don't believe in healing, because they've been subsided so much. Once you stop, messing with your chemicals and fixing your chemical balances and stuff, then you can start to heal that aspect. But until then, it's like there's a whole system, and then you're like, oh, I don't want to have to change my diet. Well, then you shouldn't have been fucking your chemicals up for so long, because now you have to fix your diet, because now you're not alkaline. Now you're too acidic, and now you're like going all over the place. You're too reactive, dude. And then it's like, well, I need to be reactive. Well, maybe you do, but you don't need to be so like bizarre with it. There are many people who are reactive, and not in like a sense of detrimental actions, but in a sense of like being reactionary after a pause, after an observation, you know. But I mean, I don't know. There's so much we need to learn. Like, we learn about the fucking food pyramid, which is a bunch of bullshit. Don't listen to I hate the food pyramid. That shit made me mad as a child. You just put all these foods together and color coded them. I don't care. What am I supposed to be learning from this? What colors the fucking vegetables and fruits are, dude? That don't help me. Oh hell yeah. You're not healed, trust me. If you were already healed, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be on Earth. You wouldn't be in the physical form if you were all the way healed. Don't get fooled by that. That's an ego trap. Being chosen is an ego trap. And your awakening does not happen once. Your awakening happens for as long as your consciousness stays intact. Don't get fooled by the ego. It's a constant, everlasting journey. It never ends. The second it ends is the second that you actually jumped off of that path. So if you feel like you are fully complete, you're not. And you have just left your path because your ego has led you astray. I'm just gonna warn you. Because that is a trap. That is a bad trap to get stuck in. If you're wanting to be free, if you're truly wanting to be considered someone who is chosen, which isn't always a good thing. And then as well, who are you chosen to be? Are you chosen to be, one of God's defenders, or are you chosen to be one of Lucifer's defenders? And how do you know which one are you? That just depends on your way of life and what you not believe in, not what you follow, but what you live. Dude, there's this fucking... I seen this video. This woman had this, like, coconut soap. I think it was, like, pure coconut soap or something. It was just, like, coconut, and I don't know what else. But it was, like, a coconut wash. And she took broccoli and put it in the wash. And the silicone from the broccoli got washed off of it. Of course, she had to, like, eat it immediately because the fucking silicone keeps the food from, like, not rotting immediately. Because it's fruit, it's like real food, so it's gonna like die out and rot quickly. But I need that. When you mentioned broccoli, I just remembered that. But it looked green. It didn't have like it had no silicone on it. It was fully green. It was flourished. It looked healthy and like alive. But it washed away the pesticides and the silicone that keeps the pesticides on it. Anytime you see like that waxy sense, is that silicone. That's not like it's what keeps the parasites locked in to keep the food fresh, and you can wash it off. I don't know what the coconut soap had in it because I couldn't fucking find it, but I'm gonna do research on it and find it because I need that. She didn't pause the video or anything. It was a full on like continuum of it. And I was like, damn, I want to at least try it. And yeah, I need to hydrate. I'm on a week-long, a 7-day water fast, so I need to drink my water. I started that today. Yeah, I get that. See, that's the thing. Eventually, we all will get to that point. It's about just not only showing other people like the way, not necessarily the way, but a way down their path, or a way to help them find where they need to go, but just finding your way there. And when we all eventually get there, I feel like that's when a reset would happen. And where is there? There is wherever you need to be. Wherever your home is, whether it's in the Orions and the Andromedans, whether it's with Lucifer, whether it's with the fucking reptilians. It doesn't matter where your home is, but the second you get there, when we all arrive home, well, I feel like that's when the reset happens, and it's like, well, whatever happens. Those that need to go back down can go back down, or whatever. I don't know how this stuff works really, because truly and honestly, I'm still even researching why Earth was even formated the way it was, and a lot further than what people have now. I want to get down to like I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, because it's something that I have to like ask from the heart space and like meditation. But I want to figure out like the world before now. Not like the old world, meaning the old religion. I'm talking about the world as we know now, that's controlled by Pyre, the world that existed before now. If there was an event that happened before this existence, this eternity, this period of eternity, I should say, happened. If there was another physical foundation or metaphysical foundation that had any form of correlation with today, or like within this current eternity. I cannot tell you that, Mary. That is up for you to figure out for your journey. No one can tell anyone about their journey. That's a whole other misconception about things. What I can tell you about your journey, though, the only things that is fully true for everyone's journey is when you begin your rebirth, your rebirthing period, and you have your awakening, when you end up waking and you see things in a fresh perspective. The things that you can like expect is just moments of like reflection. You have a lot more pauses. You might experience a lot more, callings to do different things, deeper divings with like abilities. You may even just have dormant parts of you that you had as a child, reappear. But the whole rebirthing and awakening process is just to, it's like a phoenix. It's to shed, it's to rebirth, and then to shed the ashes away, to shake off all the ashes and to start a new path again. The rebirths and awakenings we have is really, in a metaphysical sense, it's a state of death. It's a state of change. We've now evolved from one state of being into a new. Our consciousness has moved forward. Our body has moved forward. Our nervous system has changed. Our molecular system now responds differently to the environment that we're in. So in order for that to happen, we have a rebirth. The physical around us can no longer sustain us, so it has to fall apart and build up new. While that happens, our internal system builds up and breaks down. Our nervous system becomes inflamed, and then we end up talking ourselves through it, seeing those deeper depths of it, removing some of those old ways while keeping some of the other ones that stuck, and continuously moving forward on that energy. But again, like with rebirth and like wakings and things, when you're going through them, just be prepared to see things in new lights. Be prepared for like, not necessarily aha moments, but sudden realizations of like, oh, this was like that, or maybe it was like this, different mindsets. It's not necessarily a new you, but it's a part of you that's going to be less restrictive and able to hear more. At the start of your journey, and I will say this as well, you're usually thrown in at a lot at you, because all those things that you have been thrown at the start of your journey are things that you're actually going to be doing or part of. Not necessarily as that flesh did it to you, but you'll be doing the source or the practice of what has happened in a way that will benefit you in your life, regardless of how an outward appearance may seem. and awesome. I'm not doubting you either, Mary. I just always like, you know, if you know me, you know me. When I go on those fields, it's simply for educational purposes. I could care less if you are sent here by Lucifer, dude. If you don't bother me or bother anyone here and you're just chilling, hanging out, I could give a fuck less. I'm not here to fucking kick people out, you know. But I will question. I will have questions. And depending on how those questions answer will depend on the outcome. But for the most part, I am very aware that for the people who come in, I can sense whether or not, like, you know, whether they're on the path, whether they're here to actually learn, whether they're here to do something else. Because you'll see my intentions with people and my interaction with them change per person, and it's not in a way like to deter one from another, but it's like to meet them at, not necessarily meet them at their level either, but it's like to hone in to show like I'm focusing on you. Like this is the energy that you and I are going to have, not in the sense of like ego, but in the sense of just our interaction. The way I can see things going, the way that I not necessarily see but feel. I need to start using terms better. But yeah, I always do like quick scans over people. All right, the ego is just I. It's just you. The ego is you. You're the ego's the observer. You know, your ego's attached to your moral compass. It's the whole like point of you. You don't have to. I don't know. There's so many people that want to get rid of their egos. Like you don't want to get rid of yourself. You don't want to kill yourself. That's your ego. I'm gonna get rid of my ego. You don't want to kill yourself, dude. And ego death is not what you think, dude. Ego death like shifts your perspective of who you are and what you're doing. Ego death is not as spiritual as people think it is. Ego death is very fucking physical, dude. Oh my god. You start seeing shit differently. You begin to actually hate your surroundings with ego death, depending on how it goes for you. If you're in a position that you're wanting to change, you instantly start to disregard and hate everything that you're around just so you move forward. If you enjoy it, you break down the barriers that kept you from enjoying it and actually allow you to like embark in it more. It's it is a spiritual thing to talk about, but it's related to the physical. And that's why it has this negative or bad label attached to it, because it's derived from the external, but that doesn't mean it's bad. Free will. Exactly. And that's the thing. We're messing with the only thing that we're really messing with is the free will of ourself. We're allowing the free will of ourself to allow the mind to dictate and control and then to bring back in so we could be manipulated by outside forces. We're allowing that with our free will. And it's about knowing that we have it. We really free will it's real. We have it. We just don't know how to use it. It's like common sense. We don't know how to use common sense. Some people aren't raised with it. You know, some people aren't aware of it. Some people just don't have it. It's not, you know, it's not like intuition. Everyone has intuition. Everyone just doesn't listen to it. I mean, you know what I mean? We all have free will. We just don't follow it precisely. We use our free will to harm us more. You have the right to go over there and beat that person up for calling you names. If you want to use your free will like that, sure. But the consequences or the sequences of cons that happen after your main event are unstoppable. And they are going to happen no matter what. And if you can handle those consequences, good on you. If you can't, make better choices. And then like once you fully master free will, then you're sovereign from self. Because having freedom is one aspect, but having sovereignty is another. And being sovereign means you are ran solely by you. Nothing else has control over you. And who are you? You are not only mind but soul. You are now working with the elements of mind and soul in such a cooperative manner that no matter what happens, it can't stop you. Even if a consequence happens, that's okay. I can find a way around it, and you move forward from it. Same thing with being sovereign on the physical. You know, signing things under your name, not using your all caps name on legal documents makes you the sole owner, the sole proprietor, so you can start earning from it more than ever. You can start taxing yourself and things, you know. And yeah, sovereignty is the course correction. We need to learn how to be free and free ourselves to understand what it is to be sovereign. Being free from one thing is a minute element of the being sovereign, because being sovereign is not being restricted by any of those things. So you get tastes of freedom and you follow that path of freedom to sovereignty. Once you realize you can free yourself from the domination, the domination of other people, you become sovereign. Let the mind of Christ be with you. All is well. The mind of Christ is the heart, you know. But if you can get the rational mind, the brain up here to be like, yeah, that's true, the heart is like that, you've done basically the impossible. If you can truly, you know, in and out, like know the ins and outs of you, not of everyone else, but just of how you work and how you observe, you'll be sovereign, you'll be free. You will be so free from past, from everything. It's a journey though. Yeah, it's like all these, like it's you know, we need to start. I don't know, man. Because I don't know, I love talking about this shit because it's beautiful. Having grace is rare, dude. Having grace, having humility, being humble, and actually being humble is like rare. These are rare things. So having those gifts, like being someone who are those things, don't guilt yourself over them. Be proud. You're one of the fucking few people in this entire world that can do that. Be happy. Like, I just can't stop loving everyone. Good. You know how many people want people like you to exist so that they can like have a better day and at least get a smile on their face? There's a lot. So keep doing what you're doing. It doesn't matter if people around you don't like it or not. Fuck them. You're not there for them. You're just around them at the current time. Doesn't mean you have to obey them, dude. That's what I had to do for a lot of times. I've lost a lot of friends from just people not, you know, being hip with it. Not really being hip with anything, just not being like aware of like, hey, I'm telling you this is bothering me. Hey, this is that, and they just ignore it. It's like, well, if you're gonna ignore it, I'm gonna tell you how it is and dip. Ignore that, like shit. I don't care. But yeah, exactly. See, that's the thing. Being balanced in both mind and heart is like the biggest key, because like your mind is a supercomputer. You can dissect anything. So if you learn how feelings are made, you can dissect all sorts of feelings and get down to the base of it. That's cool. That's amazing. But are you feeling anything? Or have you spent time feeling and shutting the brain off, going into what we like to call meditation? Starting off the brain, letting the thoughts exist and allowing the feelings to happen, just being in that moment. Learning to master feeling things without, you know, moving forward or thinking or, you know, it was time. The internet cut out again. I think we're back though. We should be back. That's just never gonna get old. But yeah, learning to recognize your own bullshit is another thing, dude. Oh my god. If you can sit down and realize like I am the biggest asshole to myself, then you're like you're set off and just start laughing about it at that point. Nah, it was mine. It's my internet. And until I get out these hotels, the internet's gonna be cutting off like that at random times. And I'm fine with it. It's whatever. I take it as like a hey, you gotta stop talking now. So it's like whatever. I'll talk whenever I get back on. That's what most people's pastime needs to be, Mary, honestly. It doesn't matter how you define God, dude. Just spend time with God. Spend time in silence, spend time in solitude. Don't spend time in solitude saying that it's hermit mode just because you're not going out and talking to people. Be in solitude because you're actually trying to learn something. Be in solitude intentionally. You get wisdom. You will get wisdom from out of this, that people won't have. You can ask questions to get direct answers to you, the way that you need to spread it, the way that you need to hear it. And those who are truly tapped in and can see that part, or are resonant with that God's teachings, you will be able to gravitate towards and see. Exactly, Daniel. If you're the hardest person to yourself, no one can break you except for you. And you have to be careful because you can break yourself a lot worse than anyone else could ever do. It's a walk that you have to be very careful with. Leaning too much on one end or the other could definitely be detrimental. But again, just know yourself. Know who you are. Don't worry about what color you like. That's not what we mean. Just know how you work. Learn how hard. I'm hard on myself to do these things. Okay, cool. Learn how to have fun while also being hard on yourself. Give yourself fun challenges. Work on yourself on that sense. Doing it in that sense. Some people need that hard brute force of themselves though. They can handle it, and kudos to them because those are fucking warriors, dude. They carried the stone up the mountain and then carried it back down for some fucking reason. But yeah, that's why I seem like to others, I seem like I stress myself out because I'm always over digging into things, right? But no, I'm used to it. This isn't stressful for me. I very much enjoy overthinking about things. In a healthy way, of course. I don't overthink about it to stress me the fuck out. I think about it to dissect it. So then I can get I don't know. I like learning how my brain works, dude. I'm sorry. I studied too much psychology as a kid. It's a habit. Exactly. See, that's the thing. When you start holding your, because you will do that on accident, and that's where imposter syndrome comes in. Oh, I should be able to do things like this. With me in music, I'll hear people make music. It's I can make something like that, and I can't. I just can't. The way that my brain works, the way that I work with music, I can't make what they make. I don't want to make that stuff. It's nice to listen to, but to me, it's generic making, so I can't do it. I can't put myself in that box. So I had imposter syndrome for the longest time. Like, oh, I can't make the art that everyone else likes, so I might as well just quit making music. And it was no, it's that I'm trying to literally mimic what the physical world likes. I can't do that because I'm too attuned to the spiritual world. I'm making music that's channeled from heart spaces, things that make me happy, things that are making my inner child happy, things that my guides will come down and give me advice to do and shit. My music is very intuitive. It's very weird. That's why it sounds the way it does. People say it's like drug music. I've had someone tell me that they would do drugs to my music because it just seems like it would fit, and I'm like, what do you mean? I'm taking that as a compliment because I guess I can be a supplement for fucking hallucinogenics, but I don't really want to know what you're doing with my music, man, other than listening to it. But I kind of took that as a prideful thing because it's man, if I'm giving people the effects of oh, it sounds like drug music, then fuck, okay, I'm a substitute for drugs now, I guess. Awesome. I don't know. It's just funny shit like that. Joy, yeah, exactly. But and I was also kind of turned away from, oh, you make drug music, because I'm man, I don't want to be known as that dude. But what they mean is they mean trippy music, they mean weird music, they don't mean drug. They don't think, oh, you make this song, it reminds me of fucking cocaine. No, I hope not. But no. I had to accept that because it's yeah, I just make weird music. It's spiritual music. It's not supposed to be conform to the physical. It's very weird. So I got the hang of that, and it was okay. But that's how it is. You gotta work. You gotta go through those things. The imposter syndrome shit's real. It's difficult as hell to work through. I just had to stop comparing myself. Yeah, a lot of us a lot of times when we create things, we get so caught up about trying to create things for others that we remove the fun of creating things for ourselves. We forget that we're not supposed to be producers. We're supposed to be inventors. Our inventions produce things by themselves. We make inventions to produce. We aren't the invention. We're not supposed to be the invention. We're supposed to be the curator of those things. And we tend to forget about that a lot. Is our essence, our spark of life, our, you know, and our way of seeing things is part of life, whether other people want to experience it or not. And we gotta like get into it and truly see that. And I'm not even gonna lie. I have tripped to my music before. I've I have done it. It's a very interesting experience. And it got me to like my music a lot more. A little bit, but I do. It's funny as fuck because I just make drug music and I stay sober as hell when I do it. Like, yeah, I mean, it do work. It was just like it was one of those things I was uncomfortable with at first. I was like, "What do you mean it's drug music?" I took it the wrong way for some reason. I don't know what was going on with me. Just wasn't thinking is all. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. Dude, I'm gonna go all deep into this topic. Tripping with intention allows you to see behind the curtain. Tripping without an intention, tripping just to trip, just doesn't allow you to like get anything. In that sense, and that's why a lot of psychonauts know things, but you have to listen to a lot of gibberish first. I had a psychonaut friend before. They knew their things, but they would like talk about things that just didn't matter. Because the color green was just really beautiful to me at that time. Like, cool, but like, what does that mean to like us as a whole? Well, I know why I use the color green. I know why. It's the fucking the green light, the heart, starting from the heart, moving up instead of starting from the root chakra. Mm. Yeah, it's what I will say and warn about right now is be careful of all these new fucking like drugs that people are saying we're gonna help you spiritually. Don't do them, please don't. Like I like it's getting to the point to where people are replacing like spirituality with just like drugs. Like there was that whole thing in Florida. They were using what um I forgot what they were using. They were using some form of fucking psychedelic and hallucinogen, I mean, in a church type setting. Be careful of that shit happening, dude. It's gonna be a real thing. We're gonna see it happen in the next few years, I swear. There's just gonna be an increase of drug use within the spiritual community, and it's gonna be awful because people are gonna be wanting to do drugs to get no, not ketamine. Ashwagandha, I think. I think that it's the toad poison. I can't remember the name of it. I don't stick to that the psychedelics part of things, so I don't really know my full information on it, like on all the psychedelics and shit. But beware of that. Yeah, they're having false spiritual experiences. These people are not awakening. They're closing their eyes more. What they forget, what people in spirituality forget is everything you do has a spirit in it. It's alive, it's living. That spirit is the effect it gives you. Um you're not you know, taking the shroom's not like showing you deeper aspects of self unless you're taking it with that intention. It's giving you what it wants to give you. Whatever spirits in that mushroom and whatever spirits in you at the time are getting in together. If you don't have that like that intent, that control, you're seeing whatever the fuck is gonna come to you. No, see, that's the thing. They have shamanic reasons. These hallucinogens that we use, the shrooms and shit, they're not supposed to be for like uses for people. It's for shamans and people who have the ability to fucking time travel, dude. Those who have the innate ability to go through time, who can change time, who can, you know, alter timelines and shit. That's why you use shrooms for. They're there to help you loosen your body up to get there. You can do it with meditation, but you practice it with that. It trains you to get into that state to know what you're supposed to feel if you don't have it. These are tools for us. They're not supposed to be just fucking used willy-nilly, you know? But we're not taught these things. Shamans know what I'm talking about. I know they do. I fucking love shamans. I took my shaman experience already. I didn't do anything too crazy. I did DMT. I told I wasn't ready for it, so then my guides told me to just do shrooms and get used to that. And then after that, I stopped. I haven't had any need to do like anything else in that journey. I got where I needed to get at. And I moved on. I'm just kind of getting bits and pieces of a bunch of shit. I don't know. I'm curating something. I'm like creating a system of something. I don't know what it is yet. But that's what I know of so far. I've been, I guess, planning to write a grimoire. I guess you could say planning or like brainstorming one of like different stuff that I've learned and like different like magic systems that I've learned. Some of them that I've kind of not necessarily created, but like carved a path for. It's like, I don't know, but people need to like do their research on this stuff. Like, don't just do like medical research on psychedelics. Do like the spiritual research. Who uses these psychedelics? Where did they come from? Why do you have to travel to all these islands with these natives and shamans and soothsayers to do these things? Because it's for them, not for fucking Tommy down the street who wants to just fucking see colors for 7 hours. I'm sorry, just go online, just fucking go on YouTube and look up fucking colors wheel. And I don't know, you can go look outside. There's thousands of colors that you can't even see on a color wheel outside. You can see all sorts of shades of green and shit. I don't know, man. But I don't have an issue with it. Do what you want. I know what things are used for, and though it's not dangerous, it can be harmful to the wrong people. Because I've been around people who cannot handle their stuff, and I know how scary it is. I was hanging out with a friend, and he smoked weed for the first time, and he was losing his shit. He was like, my skin's on fire, my blood's boiling. I don't like this. And I was like, dude, like, you're good. Like, just, I did my best to calm him down, and he was not having a fun time at all. He was not doing good. He could not handle it. So, like, I've been around people who, can't handle this shit. It's not fun. It's just very, very distressful and very, very scary. But, to the ones that can handle it, and not only handle it, but use it with full intent, go for it. Because you will expand yourself to places that you've never thought were real and places that you needed to see. But just be careful, whether you're using it for holistic or like actual like other reasons, whatever you're using it for, just make sure that you're safe with it. I don't care. I really, I'll tell you not to do it, but you don't have to listen to me. I have no fucking power. Just be careful what you do. Have fun with what you do, but be careful with it as well. Yeah, I've seen my demon face to face. It wasn't. It's not as scary as you think, because your demon's not this roaring evil thing. Your fucking demon's like cowardice. It's scared. It doesn't have that courage. It has the fuel to do things, but it can't muster the courage. It's been labeled bad by an internal and external system. You can't do that. Don't show that side of yourself to people. They won't like you, and it's demonized. It's then put under the control by a force. And like, your shadow side tells you a lot of what you actually desire. A lot of people think that their shadow side is all about hurting people and wanting to get revenge. That's an unhealed shadow side. You gotta do shadow work, get work through all that stuff. But once your shadow is getting healed, and you can start to decipher what it actually wants, you start to see that it wanted the life that you were trying to curate, but it's operating off of all of the wrongings, the wrongdoings that happened to you, all the things that happened to you that you disagreed with. It's running off of that source, which is why it seems like a bad thing. And you got to transmute it. And it's not saying that all the things that your demon or your shadow has is good for you. So it needs to go, right? Obviously, use your discernment, know what you need for you. But to see what it needs and not necessarily to sympathize with it, because you need to have some form of control over it. It's not to sympathize, but it's to see what it has, that it's blocking from you, or see what what it's holding from you, in a sense of like it being bad or something. Like, oh, I can't express myself because I feel like I'm annoying. That's something that your inner demon, your shadow, would have, right? However, not the shadow is not your inner demon. That's two different things, obviously. But like your inner demon can hold on to that. And it's like, well, so and so said I was annoying because of this, so now I'm gonna demonize that action and make it harder for you to do because now you feel like it's bad. You know, all these things. We just label things weird. But yeah, it's it's really funny because like the only reason why your demon really fully thrives is because you still look at the outside world in a certain way. You still see things as like a good or bad aspect, and then that internal demon like gravitates to it. Of course, it's hard not to immediately see things as like good or bad at first, but when you train yourself enough, you begin to just see like, yeah, I see both sides of it. When you think of something bad, the thought of something being of that same thing being like a benefit will follow. And it's not to like negate anything or like to say that one thing's more important than the other, but it's to keep you in that balanced state. It might feel uneasy, but it's because that's true balance. Being truly balanced is uneasy because it doesn't take any effort. It's the path of true least resistance, and it's like it's rough when you're used to being swayed side to side, knowing how balanced you actually are. And when you really get into it, you're like, "Fuck, am I out of balance?" I was like, "No, you're in tune. You're just not comfortable yet. You haven't got the right position of your balance. You might not be facing the same way, you might not be seeing things in a balanced way still, but you are somewhat centered or somewhat balanced in that uncomfortability of not knowing what to do. It's just about like seeing it. I get that. I had to do that for my lustful side. I had an interesting history. So that part of me came up a lot after my high school, and I had to like debate like, what do I desire to do? Do I desire doing this, or do I want to like actually use my energy for benefit? So I ended up uh, going through like a whole thing. I don't recommend it, but I ended up doing a bunch of mirror work actually. I would stare deep into myself with candles lit in the fucking bathroom with steam and shit, and fucking go right into my eyes and be like, "What the fuck is up? Like, why do I have to come in my own body by looking at a mirror to talk to you to get you to calm down?" So that was the whole thing. No, Geminis are not angels and devils. Don't say that about Geminis. The zodiac system has nothing to do with angels and demons. The zodiacal system and what they represent has to do with the masculine and feminine elements. That's why the Aquarius has the man-bearing water, the man-bearing uh, feminine or wisdom, the water, the mother, and Gemini is just the masculine and the feminine aspects, the twins in you, the twin individual in you. It's not about the angel and the demon. It's about the masculine, the feminine, the brain and the heart, if you will, the mind and the divine, the physical and the spiritual. Not necessarily angels and demons, because angels and demons aren't what we think they are. They've just been categorized that way by religion to cover up what they actually are and what they actually mean. Yeah, I had to do a lot of that too. Okay, I did a lot of meditations Yeah, it's the reason why it's more difficult for Geminis and Aquarius is because Aquarius, it's bearing that wisdom. Aquarius is not only pouring out that wisdom, but knows the source of that wisdom. So Aquarius, that's why they detach a lot. They don't have to worry about that physical matter. They know, they bear it, they hold it. They hold that feminine element within them, so they can see it. They might struggle with detachment of detaching too much because they see too much of what the divine has, which keeps them out of reality in that sense and can cause issues. But for the most part, they are, they're not necessarily more intuitive, but they are more inclined to detach and follow the divine than most other signs are. Gemini has that issue because the twins, they don't argue, but the masculine likes to have control. The feminine doesn't need to have control. The feminine, the heart space, knows exactly where the fuck it's going. It's the masculine that wants that sort of domineering control. So it can be it's a complication of working together with your heart space, allowing yourself to truly believe that what you desire is what you can acquire. That's Gemini's really big struggle. It's but whenever they work together in such a harmony. They're as twins. You begin to fully embody the divine thing, and the zodiacs are just elements that we move through. These are just lessons that we need to have. Which is why, again, you put them in alchemical order. Why Aquarius comes before Gemini. You have to bear water before you can, you have to know how to talk and use that feminine element before you can actually become twins and relate with it. That's the whole thing. That's why I say why Libra is the scales. You have to balance yourself out so you can begin to bear the wisdom that you have. So you're not leaning too far one or the other and move. It's all alchemy, dude. But we're everything's all out of whack. We're not taught alchemy. But it's alchemy. People say it's westernized alchemy, but it's actually Eastern. It's actually Eastern alchemy, or the original alchemy. They call it westernized alchemy because they took the fucking thing from their tablets, fucked that up, said that was Eastern astrology, and then said that but they had from the Eastern astrology was the order, and that Western astrology is the order from fire, water, air, earth, which is not it. Vedic doesn't use Western uh, alchemy, which is why whenever you get your chart from them, it's completely different because they don't use the westernized system of flipping things back and forth. They stuck with the roots more. But yeah, they do a lot of fucking flip flopping in this shit. Yeah, because we're taught that manifestation is something that like we drag from like the heavens or from the internal put outernal. Manifestation just means man infesting, dude. It just means you infesting. What are you bringing? What have you allowed it to infest? You manifest all the time. You manifest fear, you manifest emotions, you manifest reactions, all sorts of it's a constant thing. So we believe that manifestation and magic and all this stuff is something that we have to put like work towards. No, it's what you put intention towards. It's all about intention. We're already doing the work. We don't have the intention. That intention is the feminine element, by the way. It's the intuitive, knowing what you're doing before you do it. So it's the more we get into it, the more it's prevalent. Like we really ignore the feminine. We really ignore the heart space. We really ignore our feelings. And it's because we're not told how to feel them. We're taught to suppress them, either through medication or by not bothering people. But you're bothering yourself more. So why don't bother yourself? Don't bother people. Don't bother. You're a person too. Don't bother yourself. Let yourself be free. You know what I mean? But it's the double standard thing. I don't want to do this to other people because I know how much it is. Well, then why do you hold it to yourself? Don't. It's not all going to be on someone else. Extend yourself to those who care and they'll help. Well, not even those who care, because I don't want to say care because when you care, you're bothered by something. Extend yourself to those who will listen, who actually share love, who share space for you. I'll say share space for you. I feel like that's better. You know, we're really like seclusive on self. We think that like I don't know. We think the hermit journey is just simply seclusion, but it's not. It's about actually learning and delving in. It's not about sitting inside and like not talking to people, but it's about truly experiencing stuff. Yeah, whom feels safe. Yeah, talk to people you feel safe around. You don't like to place hold space? I said hold a space, not hold space. Technically, you can't really even hold space, but I think that's just like an English fallacy. I get that. Yeah, you got to find that safety within yourself first. That's the thing. Because you can be around people that would like that, you know, you could trust, you know, with anything, but it's that lack of trust in self that like prevents you from, you know, outreaching. Yeah, I've noticed that a lot. A lot of like the healers are the ones who are like, yeah, share space does ring. You know, I can definitely see how share space can be there for you. Whatever, you know, whatever makes your boat float. Um, but yeah, a lot of like healers and stuff are those who are like on their path or on their journey are very like seclusive and kind of like scared to talk to other people. I've noticed that, and I don't really know. I mean, I know why, obviously, but I would assume, and that's only because of like me, I would be more excited to meet someone like that because it would give me an opportunity to learn. I guess it's just like, I don't know if it's like an ego thing. I can see it as like an ego thing too, but I don't know. It's a lot. But eventually, you know, everyone will start cracking out of their shells. The ones that are already cracked out of their shells are cracked out of their shells right now. You know, the other ones will hatch later. It's all like, it's all the evolution of that individual and how they need it to happen. You want to heal your relationship with money? Uh, I can. Uh, but it's not necessarily your relationship with money that you're concerned about, that you need to heal. It's the relationship with you and accepting the ideas that you receive on how to receive money. On that sense, the relationship with money is just a reflection of the relationship that you have with yourself. You know, contradictions and conflictions that you have within yourself that prevent you from receiving that money can definitely, you know, pop up as those same blockages on the physical. You believing that, oh, I can't do this to receive that, but I can pull a card for you for regardless. I got you. Yeah, it's all about that relationship with self. But don't be afraid to ask questions like that. I'll give like the other way to ask it, of course, but you know, because I mean that's how I think about it. But I'm gonna take it as a chance to stuff with it. Yeah, I got you. See, that's a lot. I would work with your sacral chakra then. Do a lot of sacral chakra work. You know, even just before the reading, with it just dealing with what you're talking about, sacral chakra work is gonna help you. Look up look up spiritual baths that you can do as well. You know, yoni baths is what they call them. Look up those, and that will help remove like old energy from like past people that you were with and things of that nature. That may also have like a constraint or you know, or an attachment to that sacral chakra. So doing that can help you as well. Just off the top of my head, that's what I can give you. But your card, your card is the Queen of Swords reverse. And the Queen of Swords reverse is talking about not nourishing certain thoughts. You may have a bunch of thoughts or ideas. You might be thinking a lot about, you know, what can I do for money? You know, there's these, you know, you might have ideas of like projects you want to do. you might have ideas of, or like thoughts of, planning things out, of, finding things, just finding work. However, these thoughts that you have, there needs to be a nourishment to them. There needs to be a little bit more paying attention to them. And even now, when I'm trying to like read this, because I do a bit of reading and like channeling as well, it's kind of hard to pick up on like what the thoughts are or what they could be around. And I feel like it's like not because you haven't been nurturing them in the sense of like consciously, but because of like fear or like so much things happening, or just an influx, excuse me, of energy around you that's kind of just kept you from focusing on that. It's kind of just scrambled you up and got you just defocused. With the Queen of Swords being in reverse as well, the clouds being underneath the head upright, your kind of heads are in the clouds, and clouds are air and water. It's the thoughts holding water. It's the thoughts holding the feeling. So there is good feeling within these thoughts that you have, but there's a way that you're thinking about it that's not allowing you to see something grander in it. You might be cutting yourself short. You might be putting limitations on you because of your past works, thinking, comparing your self-worth to that line of work, or to your physical appearance that would allow that monetary gain. Fixing things like that could work, but there just needs to be an overall nurturing, and nurturing just meaning seeing, paying attention to, and catering to the thoughts that you have. And don't cater to them to the sense that they destroy you, they'll destroy you, but cater them to what they need, which is their answer. I feel this way about myself. I don't know why I feel like I can't obtain money doing this, or why I can't just obtain money while staying away from these things. And ask yourself these questions, meditate on them, journal about it, write them out. You might need to just, actually see your thoughts out on the physical to kind of like see what's deriving these things to pop up. But there needs to be a mental clearance. And again, definitely working with your sacral chakra and doing the yoni baths. Those will really help you. Especially because, the line of work that you do, if you don't have that towards protection up, it can really, really get you. For shame, yeah. Work on your sacral, your heart, and your root. I feel like those would be main points. And if you're having issues with any of those chakras or working through them, work on your third eye to help you like perceive through them more. And even like if you have like oil like sandalwood, or like hyssop, peppermint, or like mugwort and or frankincense, you just anoint your third eye area and meditate, and it should help you open a clearance. How do you save lives with the chat? I don't know how to do that, because I would like to. I think it would be really good, because like we would be able to see what the fuck I'm talking about, and then when I'm silent, there's stuff obviously going on. I don't know how to do that though. I would really enjoy that. How's the music? The music's going well. The music is well. The music sounds good. The projects that I'm working on with music is going well. Everything's going good. I can't wait to write in that book. It's so cute. God dang. How do I do that though? I thought it would do it automatically, because it's not in like a setting. Really? I didn't change anything to get that to stop. Don't tell me they're blocking the chat. I'm gonna cry. Not really. No. I kept the chat up. It didn't bother me. For whenever the trolls would come in, I would tell people that they could actually get rid of the chat themselves by like clicking the X, or like going to the settings and hiding the chat if they needed to, because for some people it bothered them. But I kept the chat up for the majority, because it was like, I felt like most people wanted the chat up. Yeah, throat chakra work is gonna definitely help. Overall all chakras really, but being able not only to speak but to have power in what you speak is most important. The accuracy, sure, but if you can convey the feeling, you've hit it more accurate than than the words could ever get. Self-esteem is more of a solar plexus issue. But it can be derived from a throat chakra issue of not expressing yourself. The less you express yourself, the less value you think you have, and then the lower your self-esteem will be. So they relate, but it's more of like a solar plexus issue. And you can't, I mean, you can't really mention one chakra without mentioning the whole system, obviously, because it's all connected, but hell yeah. That's kind of what I've been doing with this channel, is getting comfortable speaking and showing my face. The sage, not really. I would use more like oils and incense and herbs. Sage and like Palo Santo are you mainly used for like spirits or like doing things of that nature or just cleansing. If you're wanting to cleanse your chakra, I would definitely use anointing oils. Get like an oil, the diffuser or something. Scents work really well, like incense and stuff. Get incense like lavender for like relaxation. You can get mugwort to help you with intuition. You can get sandalwood to help you invite like wiser spirits in per se. Frankincense, myrrh, you know, using some of the higher vibrational incenses and herbs and stuff can definitely help you a lot more than sage would. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can wear scarves and veil. You know, it's for protection. That's why you see people wear scarves all the time. Some like actual psychics and those who can speak to spirits and psychopalms still wear scarves around the throat chakra to protect them, so that what they say is protected or not interfered by outer side sources. You know, do what you need to do. Don't worry about this societal thing of cultural appropriation. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Y'all are just getting mad at things because you're mad at your own life. Do what you need to do that's going to support you and help you. Know the benefits and the reason for why they do it, and see if it can incorporate with your life in any way. Do it in a respectful manner, if anything. And that's not anything to do with like the peoples who do it, but more of the energy, the spirit, and the soul of that, you know, of that practice. Dude, I hate cancel culture. It's so stupid. Like, y'all are just stupid. Y'all just get mad at everything. I don't like this. I don't like that. Well, we don't like you. Go away. Damn. How does that feel? You want to say you don't like everything? Everything don't like you. Damn. I don't know what to say. Just close your eyes. Go back to bed. I ain't got time. Patchouli, definitely. Clamphor, have not messed with at all. Patchouli, I have. Patchouli, definitely can. Patchouli has, like, for me, has put me in more of a trance state when I've used it in my meditations. I don't know why. I just get in more of a trance state. But it could be beneficial. Okay. I don't know what clanfer is. I'm gonna look that up. I might have seen it before. Oh, it's that thing. Yeah, I don't know. I've seen it before, but I've just never used it. Oh! Okay, so I probably do know exactly what it is. I use fucking eucalyptus all the damn time. And that, okay, so it's basically like the decongestion chemical, right? That eucalyptus has. Is that what I'm thinking of? Because I looked it up and I'm pretty sure that's like what it's that like minty. Yeah, yeah, okay. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that could help too. Yeah, the L is not in it. It's camphor, is what it is. But yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay, yeah. It's the same shit that yeah. It's so mint has it too. It's that like it's that same scent. It's come from the mint family. It's why cats get fucking high. But yeah, I know what it is now. See, I might not know what it is, but I know what it is. We all know what it is. We just don't know what it is. I bet it does. Um, it sounds like a really good idea, honestly, to do. I don't have any, but if I did, yeah, dude, catnip, dude. It's that same like minty chemical that gets catnips high. Catnips high. The catnips can't get high. Cats get high. I gotta stop talking. I talk about catnip and I got high. What the fuck? And my brain just shut off. Talking about cat. I am not in the. Today is just one of those days, dude. Today's a lot different. Yeah, you can. You can get high off all sorts of herbs, dude. People sniff like frankincense and myrrh oils and frankincense and peppermint, all sorts of stuff. It gets you high. It's a thing. Um, but yeah. Yeah, there's a lot. What the hell are you doing? Why are you dancing like that? Sorry, I got a candle burning. I have something going around at every angle of the room. I have a random light on over there, dude. I'm just fucking. I'm just now like fully waking up, is what's happening. I've been like awake since like 4 in the morning, but I'm just now like awake, and I'm noticing there's like so much like I wouldn't normally have going on right now. Huh. Yeah, I'm interested for June. I'm interested for June and July. Those months are going to be very interesting months. Oh man. I I don't know if flu season started here or not. I don't know. No one around me's got sick. I haven't got sick. I had a friend that was like, he had a cold. I don't know. It rained last night a little bit, but it's like sunny, I guess, kind of. Welcome in, Carl. How we doing? How we feeling? It's still cold where you are? Dude, I was sweating last night. It was hot as fuck over here. I had the AC on and everything. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna like melt or something, dude. This summer's gonna be too much. It's not really. I just can't like. I like sleeping with quilts and weighted blankets and shit, so I can't do that in the summertime. It doesn't bother me, but it's like I got hit with a surprise last night. I did not expect it to be that hot. Well, it was more humid than anything because it did like storm and stuff. It's gonna get humid is all I know. It's gonna stay in like the 90s in the humidity. It's like, dude, when it was snowing, one day it was snowing here and we had 95% humidity and it was snowing on the ground. And I just couldn't believe I couldn't believe anything. Um so I'm not ready for the humidity. But yeah, you can get a card. Dude, yeah. See, my mom used the Vic rub stuff. But after that, I started using mint. I started like, oh, this is just like mint. So I started using like mint and stuff to help me with it. But your card is the seven. Oh my god, the Seven of Wands reverse. The Seven of Wands reverse. This is a warning saying not to leap off, or that you might have already leaped off without some form of divine inspiration. Be careful of the ideas that you are moving forward with, as some of them aren't necessarily going to be beneficial. They are being given to you from a physical set of being rather than a spiritual set of being. So pay attention to that. This is a time for rest, but right now with it being in reverse, you might not be able to rest. You might be trying to find a solution to something, trying to, get something to move forward a little bit quicker, or finding like a saving grace type moment. But right now is a time for rest, a time for the divine to move. And you might be moving right now. Just be wary of how you're moving, and if need be, don't stop cold turkey. But lean back on moving forward and get into more of like a restful position, especially for like health and safety. A lot of the safety, a lot of the health is really coming from that, moving forward with things. Not necessarily saying that you're moving forward and things are making you like sick or whatever, but take time for rest. Don't be so up and agile. Don't be moving around so much when it comes down to things. Really sit down and think, you know, about how you're moving forward with safety. Even with the Seven of Wands, it might not be safe for you to really be taking a lot of actions, not because you're in like danger, but because it's not the right time to move. It's not going to be a beneficial place to move. It's not going to be a divinely given time to move. It's going to be more of a rational mind to move. So really take time for that introspection, for that resting time, and just seeing the ideas that you have, because some of the ideas you have may also be holding issues in you, like keeping you sick or keeping you in poor health in that sort of sense. So just kind of clearing out that system right now is what you're being asked to do with like safety and health. It's just like taking a step back and seeing how you're moving. Are you moving the way that you really intend to move, or are you moving in a fact of fear? Yeah, you can get a health pool. After this health pool, I'm gonna call it and in stream and do some other things that I gotta do today. And then I will probably be back later. I shouldn't be busy because I can get everything done pretty early. Okay, your card is the Page of Swords reverse. For health right now at the Page of Swords reverse, this is saying hold on, I gotta like think about it. I have to think about it mentally and then convert it. Hold on. It's the Page of Swords. Page of Swords is all about if you notice on the Page of Swords, even he's not looking at the sword, he's moving with the sword. So he's getting ready to strike with the sword. With health, being aware of jumping to a certain conclusion about health. If you're feeling ill, not immediately jumping to find a solution, sitting back and resting for a second, really seeing what could be wrong. Taking more time for introspection whenever the thoughts come up, whether this health is like, you know, a physical health, a mental health, however, be more attentive to that thought that you're running with. Be more attentive to the force that you have behind you that's moving you. As you see on the page of this Page of Swords, even the cloud is not fully over his head, but there's still some cloud above the head. The head's not in the clouds as much, but it's in that transitional state where you can become aloof, where you can get distracted, where you can end up misswinging because of like a blindness or a fog area that wasn't seen correctly. So when it comes down to health, just make sure you're seeing things and perceiving things correctly. And not even that, but make sure you're thinking of things correctly. Make sure that you're actually getting the enlightenment that you need and not just the issue. If you're getting like the issue or a problem or something, there's the enlightenment there. So be sure to question yourself on what this enlightenment is. And if you get I don't know for an answer, that's imploring you to dig deeper. That's imploring you to truly see what that could be, and that in itself would improve, you know, that would improve mental health. If this is like a physical health wise thing, I would be more attentive to the activities that you're doing and the things that you are around that could be affecting your health, and not putting it to the side or saying, oh, that can't be the issue, or I don't do it that much, but you know what I mean. But that's what I got for that. But yeah, uh I am gonna hop off. I'm going to get a few things done, and then we will be back on. Thank you all for stopping in. Thank you for all the love, the conversations, everything, the perturbations. I truly love it all. If you need anything, I have all the information there. The email's there, the website's there for the services that I have, the donation links are there if you need to donate, if you feel called to donate, or however. But regardless, I love each and every one of you all to the moon and back, tenfold and forever, and I will see you later.